I am not ashamed to admit that many years ago I was conned by one of these street scammers in a continental European country somewhere. Now, I thought it was a bit of a game, a bit of fun, it was only a few euros, but the point that it turned out to be a con and a scam and one of these trickster games really did sting at the time. Just the principle of being conned. It was one of these games where they've got a couple of matchboxes, a little bean or something underneath it, they flip it between the two and move it around, and you've got to guess which one it's under. Now, that sounds easy enough, it sounds like a bit of fun, but the point at which you hand the money over to bet on which one is which, then they do some other kind of trickery, move it around, and then say, now guess, and obviously they've tricked you by that point. Then at the point that you are really convinced you know which one it's under, somehow they've tricked you and you are down a few euros. So suffice to say, I don't play any of those kind of games anymore. But as I say, I was very young, it was on holiday, and I just thought it was a bit of fun. But it's not so much fun when you lose tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds, or your entire YouTube channel, which many different people have experienced, and I'm going to show you one in just a moment. Now, I, like probably most other YouTubers, get lots of emails all the time offering me sponsorship opportunities. They look a little bit like this, where they use popular company names that you'll probably recognize, probably want to partner with. They come along with things like sponsorship requests, sponsorship deals, sponsorship opportunity, and inside the email they say that they'll give you a certain rate, or they invite you to give them your rate for these integrations or whatever. And then sometimes some people do engage in conversation back and forth with these would-be fraudsters, and they ultimately come out far worse. This is one such rather heartbreaking story where this lady lost her YouTube channel to fraudsters. They, I think, turned it into some kind of cryptocurrency thing in someone else's name, and it got a termination against it because it was abuse of trademark and or copyright. Now, she's going through the processes of trying to get that channel back. Now, I've even been part of discussions with YouTube and Google headquarters about the security of accounts and how accounts should be secured. I'll come back to that a little bit later in the video, because this doesn't just apply if you have a YouTube channel. It applies to anyone that has either a Google account, a Microsoft account, and so on. But first of all, let's listen to this rather heartbreaking story.
Well, this is a video that I never expected to have to make, but I'm going to make it. For those of you who don't know me from Adam, and you maybe clicked on this video because of the title, my name is Mary. I run and own a website called therosehomestead.com, and until 2 days ago, I had a thriving YouTube channel with almost 63,000 subscribers, and it was hijacked, and it is gone. YouTube has been of no help. Google has been of no help. No one will talk to me. No one has tried to help, and I have exhausted myself to a point of I just can't anymore. And so I decided to make a new YouTube channel with the same name and upload all of my old content to that channel. Sorry for the noise, traffic. But I want to tell you how it happened really quickly. I had received an email, not to my spam folder or junk. It was to my main email about a sponsored video. I got those a lot. Daily, I would get emails asking about doing sponsored posts. This one looked completely legitimate. Everything was completely legitimate. Nothing threw me or looked weird. And even working out the sponsorship amount, everything was normal. And once it was worked out, as is normal, they sent a contract to be signed. That always happens. And when I opened the contract, that was it. It was all gone immediately.
And so that just shows just how quickly this happens. It happened virtually immediately. They took it over. The file was obviously malicious. It was obviously dangerous, and it allowed them access to her account. somehow, and she lost her entire YouTube channel. This video was posted 9 days ago. She was right in that I had no idea who she was, with all respect to her, until this video popped up in my feed. I run 2 feeds generally. My Black Belt Barrister login channel gives me ideas on what to post about. My Black Belt Secrets channel is what I generally watch. But this one popped up on my Black Belt Barrister YouTube feed. I'm pleased to see that she's got a bunch of subscribers coming here and 179,000 views on that video. But I'm not so pleased that this has happened and it's taking so much to get it rectified. Now, it does seem from another video that I saw that YouTube is working on getting the channel back, and that might take some time, etc. But hopefully anyone watching this can avoid doing that in the first place. So first of all, just because I like to support people that are in difficulty, do head over to her channel, check out her videos. If you like them, do feel free to subscribe and support her that way, because I feel that people losing out, getting conned, getting scammed like this is just heartbreaking and unacceptable. And as I said, day to day, I get these emails, and whilst I do want to avail myself of the opportunity for sponsorships, etc., to support the growth and continued running of my channel, I do have to just skip over the vast majority of those opportunities, many of which might be genuine. But because many of them are going to be scams like this, and they're going to try to trick me in this kind of way. But as I said, regardless of whether you run a YouTube channel or you've just got a Google account or a Microsoft account, Apple account, whatever, there are certain absolute minimum things that you can do to protect yourself, and I'll come back to those in a minute. But on the issue of both security and partnerships to channels, I only take partnerships that I really believe in. So check out this short segment now, and then I'm going to come back and give you some ideas for how to protect yourself. You might have heard of the global internet outage, which brought airports and banks to a standstill on Friday, leaving thousands of flights cancelled or delayed and people queuing up for hours. This was caused by an update in the CrowdStrike software, which provides antivirus services to Microsoft, among other things, and ironically brought everything to a standstill. Now, that got me to thinking about what I would do if I needed to access my files when lots of people couldn't. Well, I use MeshNet, provided by NordVPN, who's a partner to my channel, and so I thought it'd be a great thing to talk about here, because when I'm traveling out and about, as I was just last week on holiday, I don't take all of my files with me. They are either stored securely on a cloud, or I access them securely and remotely via NordVPN's MeshNet using my laptop to connect to my home machine. This is something you can do securely and encrypted with your files so that they are not stored on a machine that you take away with you, so there's no risk of getting them lost, but you can also access them remotely from wherever you are. So whether you are traveling around to and from work or going on holiday and you still want access to your files, you can do that worldwide securely through NordVPN's MeshNet. NordVPN also hides your IP address, so it stops people from tracking where you are and what websites you visit and things like that. They don't keep any logs or store any data and track what you're doing and anything like that. They've been audited a number of times by big firms, and they do not store any logs. NordVPN also checks websites and downloads for malicious websites and malicious downloads and alerts you to those, and helps to keep you safe in that way as well. Of course, I get you a discount on this channel. You can get up to 4 months extra free using the link that's on screen and in the description below, and you can get up to 20 gigabytes of eSIM data to travel around. If you're going on holiday, as I was, you can get up to 20 gigabytes of eSIM data for your phone or mobile device with one of their plans. So if you want to make sure your laptop and your browsing activity is secure and you can remotely access your files securely, grab yourself a discount and 4 months extra free with my link in the description below. You'll get the peace of mind of knowing your laptop is much more secure, and you'll be able to access your files remotely. This is one way I access my files securely and remotely that are stored on my home machine. So do check it out. The link's in the description below. You won't regret it, but if you do change your mind, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So with that, thanks for watching. Let's get back to the video. So back to security, and in the modern day of keeping your accounts secure, we don't just have passwords and pins anymore, or secret questions such as the place you grew up or the name of your first pet, etc. We have passkeys, SMS codes, email codes, one-time passwords, authentication apps, token-based authentication. We have smart cards, fingerprints, facial recognition, voice recognition, iris scans. And if you're familiar and you've kept on top of what AI is doing these days, AI can even mimic your voice for voice recognition. We've heard stories of people having their accounts taken over because they've had their voice analyzed and replicated by AI, where you've got banks and such like accepting your voice as your password. so you can ring up and confirm certain things in your voice. And we are getting to a point where you really need a combination of these things to keep your accounts secure. Now, one of the fundamental security principles, in my view, and working with a security company like NordVPN, now this portion of the video is not in partnership. I'm using this genuinely because it explains this very well. I'll link this also in the description below. You can go and read about two-factor authentication and how you're supposed to enable it and what it does. Most people think a password is enough to protect your account. It is certainly not enough. Even two-factor authentication by using a PIN code to your phone that you send back to a website is not enough if you are duped into putting that code into the wrong website, which, as it happens, is also what NordVPN is good for. But two-factor authentication here, what is it and what does it do? Well, first of all, you'll have your username, which is often your email address, and your password as you would normally, but then you will also be asked for another code from an authentication app. Google has one, Microsoft has one. You register your account on that authentication app and it will ask you for a login code, and only then can you log in. And without that code, even when someone has your password, they cannot log into your account. And as it says here, even if you use a password manager, which is supposed to be encrypted and secure, if they leak your data, which happens, I do many videos on data leaks, billions of records of data are leaked, and those might include your password, and then somebody might have your password. But again, if you use two-factor authentication, being your normal login details and a code that you get from one of these authentication apps, that significantly enhances your security. There's a fantastic guide on this same website on how to turn on two-factor authentication on Mac OS, on iOS for your iPhone or your iPad, on Android, on Windows, various social media accounts, etc. I know lots of people who very recently have had their account taken over, people I personally know, and I've had to message them to say, I think your account's been hijacked, because I've got a friend request and messages from them ostensibly, but it wasn't them, obviously, and so I've had to help them to recover their account and turn on the security and prevent any further hijacking of their account. But as you heard from the heartfelt story here, many people lose their entire YouTube account or even access to their Google account, their emails, which has access to everything else. So I really urge you, at the very least, if you take nothing else from this video, go and turn on two-factor authentication, and it will hopefully help to prevent this from happening to you. So do check out the guides in the description below. Don't forget to check out NordVPN's discount as well for the security there. But this YouTube video really brought to light just how devastating this can be. Somebody can work for years and put a lot of time and effort into an account like this, into a channel like this, just to have it taken away by fraudsters. So as I said, in support of another YouTuber who's suffered a real hardship, go check out her videos. If you like them, consider subscribing to her. And please, if you like my videos as well, please do subscribe to me here too. And with that, I thank you for watching sincerely, and I'll see you next time.